Hey guys, welcome back to Ministry Life Tutorials. This is lesson 3 in the 3-part music theory series. So following on from lesson 2 where we built scales on our keyboard, we are in this session going to be making chords from them scales, and then I'll be showing you some chord progressions that you can use and experiment with in your own music, okay? So yeah, we'll get straight into it and I'll send you over to the piano. Right, here we are at the keyboard. As you can see, I've given you one octave again, just to note and reiterate, if you know, these patterns can be repeated and copied up and down the keyboard at different octaves. If you're not sure what I mean by that, then I suggest you go back and watch video 1. Yeah, so I've given you one octave and we're going to be looking at chords. So some of these notes may actually land outside of what you can see on the screen. But we'll get to that when we get there. So we're building chords, guys. Building chords from the scale that we made in video 2. So if you've made a major scale, you're going to have these notes. If you made a minor scale, you're going to have these notes. Yeah. So if you're unsure about what's going on there, you need to go back and watch video 2. Okay, but for those of you that have, and you've made it here and you understand the concepts up to now, then we're going to go from there. So we're going to number the notes of the scale, okay? And I'm going to use the C major first of all. So we're just going to number them really quick, easy. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. Okay. Now 8 can be seen as 8. It can be seen as 1, because if you remember, we're going C through to C. So the 8 can be seen as 1, so we can just say 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and so on all the way up the keyboard. Okay, so yeah, let's just do it like that. We'll go 1 through 7. Right, so the first chord we are going to look at is going to be the triad. Okay, it's called triad because it contains 3 notes. You know, you have a dyad too. Okay, that can also be considered a chord. You know, like the definition of a chord is just more than one note, you know, working together to form one sound. So you get dyads, which are 2-note chords, but to understand the theory end of it a little bit more, most people start off with triads, okay, because they contain the 3 sort of important elements in a chord. Okay, we're not going to get too deep on the theory, but we are, however, going to number these chords and look at the triad today. Okay, so the triad consists of 3 scale degrees. You can see we've numbered them at the bottom. So your first triad chord, let's say we're taking the scale of C major, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Okay, so we're going to look at the scale degrees 1, 3, and 5. Okay, so we get 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, so we're getting 1, 3, and 5. Okay, so this is what's called the first chord of C major. Okay, it's a 1, 3, 5, it's a triad, and the chord is actually a C major. Okay, we're not going to worry too much about the names of the chords, we're just going to worry about this triad shape. Okay, I want you to remember this shape. So, you know, you go to the 1, you skip the next scale degree, and then you hit the next one, then you skip the next scale degree, then you hit the next one, and we got 1, 3, 5. Okay? And because we're in the scale of C major, this root chord, which means the first chord, is a C major chord. Okay, so we've just made one chord out of the C major scale, and yeah, I won't confuse you too much with all the names of the chords, like I said, but I do want you to take note of this shape. Okay, so we have our triad 1, 3, 5. Okay, now this triad shape can be moved up and down in the scale. And what I mean by that is we have our 1, we have our 3, we have our 5. Okay, if I move all this up 1 to the right, okay, so we're still using the notes from the scale, remember? So this one goes up 1, this one goes up 1, this one goes up 1. We get this chord. Okay, so there's still notes from the C major scale, except we're doing our 1, 3, 5 shape, but we're actually starting it on the 2. Okay, and this gives us our second chord of C major. Right, so I won't name the chords and confuse you. I'm just going to number these chords from now on in, okay? Remember the root chord, that's a C major. Then we're just going to go second chord, okay? Then we're going to shift all our fingers up one more time. We're going to go to the third chord, okay? So I like to think of it like wherever my thumb is starting, like you want to try to remember it like that. So we're going first chord, second chord, third chord. Okay, and same repeats, so we go up again, fourth chord, fifth chord, sixth chord, and this is what I was saying earlier, guys, about some of my fingers you might not see on the edge of the screen, but I'm just keeping that same shape, so it's just on one, miss one, on one, from the notes of the scale. So where were we? We've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and then if I end up moving up, shifting one more, I get my C again, but starting on this C, not this C. Right, so we've taken one simple shape there, the 1, 3, 5 shape, and we've shifted it 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 times, and it's given us 7 different chords. So we've taken one scale, and from that we've derived 7 different chords here. So you can make a note of the notes of each chord. You can make a note of what chord in the key they are. So we've got the 1 chord, for example, we've got the 4 chord, we've got the 5 chord, we've got the 3 chord, the 2 chord, and the 1 chord. Yeah, so you can hear that all these chords sort of sit together in a way, and that's because they are all chords from the key of C major. Yeah, and why is that? It's because we derived these chords from the scale of C major. Okay, so that's how this works. And let's say we were going to do, I'll give you a minor example. So we've got our minor scale. Yeah, so we're going to apply the same thing, the same 1, 3, 5 triad, but to this minor scale instead. Okay, so we get 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah, I think you can see that. 1, 3, 5. Okay, and that happens to be a C minor chord because the root is on the C, and we're building our chords using the minor scale, so we get a C minor chord. Okay, so then if we were to shift all these up now, it's a little bit more tricky than the C major, but I want you to watch what's going on. Okay, this one moves up to the next note in the scale. If you remember, 1, so this moves up to the next note in the scale. Okay, and then our second was here. This moves up to the next note in the scale, which is actually there. So we got the scale is, yeah, so this is on here. This moves up to there, and then move up 1 from where the 1 was, from here to here, and then we get this chord. Okay, so this is actually the second chord of C minor. Okay, so this one's a little bit more tricky and it takes a bit more getting used to it, which is why I advise you start off with the C major scale, because it's all the white notes. It just makes life a bit easier for you. But if you're happy enough to try the minor, then go for it. Okay, so you got your 1 chord, shift it all up, you get your 2 chord, you shift it all up again, you get your 3 chord. So we got here, here, and here. Then we shift it all up again for the 4th chord. So this comes up to there, this comes up to there, this comes up to there. Yeah, and then you've got your 5th chord, this moves up here, this moves up there, this moves up there. And so on, guys, alright? I'm just going to keep moving up. So the 6th chord, this comes up to here, this goes there, and this goes up to there. Yeah, so you can hear it just, gradually moving up through the scale, and we're just keeping that same shape, whereas, you take the root, you miss the next note in the scale, go to the next one, then you miss the next note in the scale, go to the next one. Right, I hope this is making sense. It's a bit harder to follow using the minor scale, and yeah, I'm sorry if my fingers are blocking you off as well, but hopefully some of the notation's helping you. But yeah, so you use that 1-3-5 pattern over the different scales, and then you shift that up and down through the scale, and that will produce you the 7 chords of each key, the 7 sort of main chords of each key. Obviously there are hundreds of others, different combinations, but these are the main triad chords or primary chords, depending on what you want to call them. Okay, so I hope that makes sense. So just to give you an example, we'll go back to the C major. Let's sort of number some of these chords off as we're going. Okay, so we're going 1 chord, 5 chord, 6 chord, 4 chord, and back to the 1 chord. Okay, so really popular chord progression, that one. There are formulas for different chord progressions that suit different genres, etc. That being one of the main pop music chord progressions, and you might as well learn this one, because it's pleasing to the ear, and that's why it's so popular, and that's why so many pop musicians use it, I guess. The formula is, as I'll just do it once more: 1 chord, 5 chord, 6 chord, 4 chord. It probably reminds you of a bunch of different songs straight off the bat. It does get used a lot. Chord progressions can't be copyrighted, therefore people are going to use it. It's catchy, it's popular, but that's the theory behind it. So just remember, like, I like to think of it of where my thumb is, and obviously as you get more advanced, you start to use inversions. It's not always going to be your thumb, but when you're starting out, the thumb's a good indicator. So you get 1, let's move it up to the 4, to the 6, to the 5, to the 1, to the 3, to the 4, to the 5, back to the 1. Okay guys, so I hope this is making sense to you as you go. So just to sort of recap, we took the scale we used from video 2. Yeah, we number each scale degree, and then we use our 1-3-5 pattern off of the root note, 1, 3, 5. And then to get our other chords, we just have to keep shifting everything up 1 through the scale. So everything was up 1, 2nd chord, everything was up 2, 3rd chord, 4th chord, 5th chord, 6, 7, and back to the C major. Okay, and the same applies to the minor. If you think you can do the minor, have a go at it. It's more tricky because it involves sharps. That's the bottom line. But practice with the major first, and then if you think you can handle the minor stuff, have a go at it. And yeah, you start to get some really nice stuff comes out when you start hitting those minor scales. So yeah, good luck. I hope that's helped you out. And yeah, back over to the other screen. There we are then, guys. That's the end of the 3-part series. Basic introduction to music theory, designed for those who have no experience in any music theory and just want to just start experimenting and just seeing how it works. Yeah, so that's it. Following up this, we'll be doing a video on Logic with the practical application of basically everything we've just learnt, and with a few other things thrown in. So yeah, make sure you look out for that one as well. Thank you.